when we start the class, we have 10 knowledges. So we mentioned about 10 knowledges. We did talk something about the first 2 knowledge, right? In the last class, before last week. So one is called the knowledge of Dhamma, or you can translate the knowledge of factors, and the other one is called the knowledge of subsequent, the subsequent knowledge. So anyone here can tell me what is the difference between the knowledge of Dhamma and the subsequent knowledge?
One is sense sphere, another one in the fine material.
Okay, good. One is belong to the sense sphere, one is belong to the fine material. Okay. All right. And any other else that you want to comment on? What is the differences between the knowledge of the knowledge of the factors and the knowledge of the subsequent knowledge? Anything relate to these two? Any other? Oh, everyone is very into samadhi now. Call immovable samadhi. Immovable, no shaking. Everybody was so firm.
It's like a test.
Okay, it's all right. We can just, why don't we just look at all the things and then we are going to look at the notes first, okay? Now we read 102. I will explain a little bit later. So we're going to read at 4.5.40.1, right, on page 102. So the knowledge of the Dhamma comprises the outflow free knowledge with regard to the conditions of the sense sphere and through their cause, cessation, their preparatory path, their hindrance path, the path of liberation, the path of progress or advanced distinction, and the outflow of free knowledge with regard to the stage of knowledge of the Dhamma, being from the beginningless time, have constantly been obsessed by attachment to the self. So one now, for the very first time, see the Dhamma that is received the name called the knowledge of the Dhamma. Okay, so in other words, we know that the knowledge of the Dhamma has associated with the desire realm. Okay, we know that one thing. The second we know because for a long time people were attached to the self, the ego, and then but that's actually why it called the knowledge of Dhamma, because for the first time they see the Dhamma, so and then in other words they understand the no self. So that's why it's called the knowledge of the Dhamma. That's one thing. And then the other thing is very difficult, I mean for generally. Generally, the knowledge of the Dhamma, you could understand the knowledge of Dhamma is in the Prayoga Marga, is in the preparatory path. Anyone know what is a preparatory path? And also you could say they are in the sense sphere, but in basically we might understand. Huh?
Sila, virtue, and generosity.
Yeah, that mean the still, yeah, and then unhindrance path. Maybe I think maybe easier to just. I think we read it first. I think we make a pictures maybe easier. Okay, that's what we know. At least is the knowledge which is somebody come to a very important point, understand the Four Noble Truths. Okay, so from the first step, they see the Four Noble Truths, basically. And when they see the Four Noble Truths have so many kind of levels, but they come to the level of understanding the Four Noble Truths that they establish some kind of knowledge. That's why they call the knowledge of the factor. Okay. That's why it also can be associated with, and this kind of knowledge, it's only happen when in a sense where it means that your meditation skill only in the Upajjhara Samadhi. So, but your meditation skill is not in the first jhana or beyond first jhana, but it's all under that kind of jhana. So that's why that's called the knowledge of the Dhamma. Okay, that's how they've been defined in the Sarasvati school. Okay, we look at what is a subsequent knowledge because sometimes a whole picture is much easier to understand. So the subsequent knowledge comprise what? The outflow free knowledge. You know, you have to understand this kind of knowledge is all outflow free. Outflow free means 无漏. It's no defilements. Okay, like there's no hatred, there's no delusion, there's no pride. You know, the manas, man. There's no anger. You know. So that's called like 8 outflow, you know, or 10 outflow defilements. There's no, for example, the wrong way of holding the precepts, you know, something like that. And there's no wrong view, and those. That's why I call outflow free. It's without those outflow knowledge. So and in the both are the same thing. They're outflow free, but in the condition of the fine material. But this time. The subsequent knowledge is a condition of fine material. It's not in the desire realm. Okay, it have to be beyond the first jhana, or at least in the first jhana, and immaterial sphere, and in their cause, in their cessation. So, but because we have to understand the cause and cessation, it has to do with. Mean you could practice that too in the path. No. That means the sorry. What you call the Four Noble Truths. The first one is the suffering, right? And then here, or even in the, but it happens in the cause, in the cessation, and even in the preparatory path, in also so-called the unhindered path. I'm going to talk that a bit more later.
Cessation is a craving?
No, cessation means the Four Noble Truths.
The end of...
No, the Four Noble Truths, the third Noble Truth. Okay.
Cessation.
Yeah. When you say the path, it means the preparatory path, okay? And then their path of liberation and their path for progressive, advanced distinction, and so on, okay? Anyway, they are very similar, but the difference is only that one is that they're exactly almost the same, but the only difference is that one is subsequent, why it's called subsequent, but it only happens above the first jhana. Or you could say, usually the language you would say, the condition is in the fine material, in immaterial sphere. Okay, all right. And then we are going to read the notes, maybe much easier. So it received the name subsequent knowledge as it arises follows that of the knowledge of the Dhamma. Why it called subsequent? Because it's follow after the right of Dhamma. Okay, just now we say the knowledge of the Dhamma. Okay, any other question? I mean, literally, there's no question, right? Maybe, I mean, in detail that you have to learn more detail to understand in the detail. But first, understand that a general statement first. All right, we go to the third one. What is meant by conventional knowledge? You know, conventional knowledge, 世俗知. So comprise those understanding. The conventional knowledge must be comprise the understanding which are with outflow. Why is called 世俗? Because it's 有漏. Because it's outflow. You know, 有漏. It means you have this wrong view. It can be, but it's there. But still, is a knowledge. Okay. It is named conventional knowledge as it operates mostly on the things of conventional existence. Why is it called conventional? Usually because it's for the normal expression. You need to use it, you know, like a normal language. You cannot say, oh, Yang, he's a man. You cannot say, Yang is a fine aggregate, right? And the people, here I'm talking Yang is a fine aggregate, doesn't mean, it's a language, but I don't use that way also. Not only that, I will see Yang as a man because I know he's not a woman, for example, right?
I don't know that now.
I had to change another person. Okay, I know the Nan is a Nan. Anyway,
Very complicated.
okay. Anyway, so basically that is you know where I am now.
The appearance convention. Yes.
No, but when you look at these five aggregates, and when you look at five aggregates, there's no Yang, right?
Yeah.
And there's no no male or female, or at least you still have to check up according to Abhidharma. You still can check with male or female. But when you just talk about generally, mean the five aggregates. So if I only look at you as the four elements, your feelings, and that you don't, you know, like that. So that's anyway. Those are not called unconventional, but the conventional is the so that's why I say it's But do the Buddha have a conventional knowledge? Yeah, of course. Yeah, okay, good. Yeah. So it's named conventional because it operates mostly the things are conventional existent, such as like when you say there's a jugs, there's a garments, you know, when you, anyway, you know that there's just, but when you analyze all the things, then you don't find so-called a jug, you know, all the garments and so on. So this knowledge have two kinds. One is called defined and undefined, okay? So when it's a defined one, they are twofold. They also have two kinds. So we come to the next paragraph. So they have the nature. So when it's defined, because why they are defined? I mean they are 污染。为什么它是染的? Why they are defined? They are defined because they have the nature of they have which are of the they have or they are they in. There's a kind of nature of what the view, 知识, you know, 不正见, okay, there. And those which are not, okay. The former comprise of 5 views. So what kind of view, if we talk about that? You know, there are two, when you say that the conventional knowledge have two kinds, one is with the defined, one is without defined. 有一个污染，一个没有污染。When you say the one that which is defined, so and then the other one is not, that means no 没有污染. So when you say they're defined, so the what kind of defined? General understand the Sakaya Drishti, you know, remember that? I mean, 借镜取见. So you're holding a kind of the rule as the right way, you know. And the Mithya Drishti means the wrong view. And the Drishti Paramasha actually means 见取见. So I mean you hold a view, but you still believing your view is right, you know. So like that. Mithya Drishti is a wrong view. Like for example, some people say, I want to eat that, I want to kill it, so it's a wrong view, right? But the 见取见 say, I uphold certain thing. Okay, say, let's say that people, let's say some religions say, oh, you know, if you're fasting, you can attain nirvana. So and then you hold that kind of view, and then you are expose it more, like, you know, okay, then if I fast, I will hold nirvana. So if all of you who does not fast, you will not attain nirvana, right? This is called that also drishti paramasa, mean you uphold the view over the view. But this one has a connection to the first one, mean to have a wrong way to understanding the rules. Okay, so that's why if you break any one of it, the other one will break off. But more in detail, usually we put it into 5. Okay, and then sorry, I translated wrong. Sakaya Drishti is not the Sila. Sorry, Sakaya Ditti. Sakaya Ditti is the view on the 5 aggregates. So, the wrong view about the body. Sorry, or the body. Okay, 身见. So and then so Drishti Paramasha and the Sila Vrata Paramasa. That's Sanskrit, so something difficult to pronounce. So it's always associated together. Okay. And then there's one more actually. Where's the one? Yeah, there's. I think you forget to write here. You can add it here. Called under drishti. That means the 辩见 mean either you're extreme, you are all. Either you are always holding the sasadavada or ujjayadavada. I mean either holding the thing is eternal or either holding the thing is materialistic, like what we call ujjayadavada mean cut off, like, you know.
Annihilation or
annihilation. Yeah, eternal annihilation. So called undervard drishti. Okay. So anyway, but I think the later comprise the understanding conjoined with the doubt, greed, hatred, conceit, ignorance, anger, harmful, and but here actually refer to when there's a kind of, you know, before we study that there's kind of defilements. Remember 烦恼, right? And this another one is called 随烦恼. So this is referred to like something with the relate to the 随烦恼 also. Okay. But then, and then the undefined one, so that means the pure one in a way. The conventional lineage have 2 focus. So one is a wholesome, one is a non-wide, non-defined. Anruta vyakara, we usually translate 无父无记. Okay. Anruta avyakruta. Okay, it's Sanskrit word. So let me look at really first. The non-wide, non-defined one as ones are not viewed as they are not of a nature judgmental. So they are both understanding and knowledge. Now, the conventional knowledge can have two types. One is a good one, wholesome one. And the other one is called 无父无记. Okay. Now, before we explain what is meant by the wholesome one, now here it starts to explain for what is meant by the non-wide, non-defined 无父无记. Okay. You see, when you say the word called undefined, it always refers to the karma is neutral. Okay. The karma is neutral. For example, my eyes look at the picture. So my eyes had to be understood as 无父无记. My eyes have to be understood as neutral. Okay, forget about the word how you translate? Non-wide first. Just remember the word non-defined. What does it mean? It means because my eye actually is neutral. You cannot say my eye, when I was born, my eye is a bad. It means 不善, or you are bad, or mean unwholesome. No. Or you cannot say that my eye was born is wholesome also. Because this is much to do with the karma, when you say about the 因果, okay, the cause and the effect. So that's why when you say 无记, it means it's neutral. For example, it is always believed that the Buddha, whatever he see, whatever he hear, whatever he do, it's always this kind of karma there. Okay. So anyway, non-defined general understanding means the one that you cannot say it's good or you cannot say it's bad. It's based on a condition. So when my eyes have the wrong object, so and then arise a wrong, let's say my eye consciousness, then my eye consciousness. Let's say I have an eye consciousness, but because I have the greed there, then that time my eye consciousness cannot be understood as non-defined, but it's also been unwholesome. Okay? Understand? Okay. So, and the other thing is that now what is meant by avruta? Anivruta means Sanskrit, means non-wide. Non-wide means 无父, actually means non-cover, not cover. 覆就是被覆盖嘛, or you mean you cover something, right? But this is opening up already. It means a good way. So it maybe general understanding. When you say there's a kind of conventional knowledge, you can understand conventional can be bad. Okay, we just mentioned what are these bad, right? They can be basically the conventional bad. There are two types. One is affected by the five wheels, right? And the other one is that because particularly you are still affected by the 随烦恼, okay? The defilements called the secondary defilements. Okay, you get it now? Now then the other one is that when you say the conventional knowledge is a good one, and a good one had to understand also twofold. One is that it's good, and one is that actually is almost like not moving. It's always without problem. Okay. Understand what I mean?
So it's always kind of open and neutral.
Yeah, always like maybe and understand it in a maybe. That's why he say the word called. They are not in the nature. The non-white one is not viewed as they are not of the nature of judgment. Don't look at that. There's no nature of judgment. Now we have to talk about what it is by judgment. Sandirana. What is Chinese here translate already? Sandirana. 审查。是吗？不是，是视察什么？他传什么？推度，对，推度。Because this is in Pali is a very important thing also. So generally the word Santirana is same as a Sanskrit word and Pali word. You know, in Pali, it's the same thing when you practice insight meditations, and you have to look at the five aggregates, and then they will be develop a certain kind of knowledge. But the first knowledge, the second knowledge is called the Santirana knowledge. Usually this knowledge come about because through your meditation, especially you understand the cause and effect, okay? And then you come to understand, for example, like, oh, because of that, this arise, that arise. Well, it's a very famous, the dependent, the statement from dependent arising. 就是缘起法里面讲的持有故别有。So like that, and then that is a kind of, it's almost like inference, right? You know what I'm saying? It's almost like inference, but you are not using your power of hearing, your power of reflection, 就是闻修跟思修 no, but that completely is不是闻所修慧思所修慧 but you completely use your practice, your meditation, okay?
So it's non-cognitive?
No, you're cognitive.
It is cognitive, right? It is also related to the karma also?
No, I think this is, that's why if you haven't done meditation in order to know very detail, otherwise very hard to explain. Maybe I just say, try to use a language. For example, I think this is some people usually, I knew that lots of people learn it differently. I guess, I'm not here to claim I might be completely right, but I'm definitely close to right one, okay? You know, you learn everything like meditation is same. Say, okay, maybe easier to say. Like I say, okay, you have to observe your breath in and out, right? A beginner, he hear what I'm saying, and he will just sit and just do in and out. They're still observing the breath in and out. Based on what? Based on what he was listening and to do it, right? So then tomorrow, he also still do it. He also based on, the Dhammadipa said, the practice of meditation of breath is mean sitting there and observe the breath in and out. So it's based on what? Still based on the hearing. Get it now? Right? But you do it 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 1 month, you forget Dhammadipa say. Not that you don't remember I say, you know what I'm saying? You're doing it just become, I think this is right. Is it enough? Right? So that time you don't base on the listening, you know. You are still practicing in and out breath. I'm talking in a very simple term, okay? So it happened to you, but I'm talking about long meditation. Okay, even this is the same. So you that time you don't. You just feel like in and out because you don't think about Dhammadipa asked me to do this. No. You just do it.
It becomes intuitive.
No, you haven't come to intuitive. I don't know the language first, but remember the Buddhist language now. So you just do it, and then you might be thinking, do I do it good today or not good today? You don't actually rely on what you learn from me already. It become, you can say to intuitive, become a part of you. So that's why you practice this based on your hearing, your reflection. 就是我们修所成慧，思所成慧 sorry， 思所成慧。So you based on your reflecting. So that's why this is what I call the in breath and out breath. Now, however, what does mean by the 修所成慧? So, or what we call the wisdom through your meditation or through your cultivation. Something we translate the best one. The normal translation is the knowledge come from, or the wisdom come from the cultivation. At that time, you don't do it like this already. In and out breath, very clear, whatever. This all still reflection. But if you go to that time, you almost come to very advanced stage. I mean, you see the breath whatever the way that it is already. Okay, it means almost close to what we are just talking. You must be almost realizing what is the knowledge of Dharma. Remember what does it mean by knowledge of Dharma? So it means if you are really in the 修所成慧, or means that your practice. So according to Abhidharma system, okay. So the definition is that then that moment you almost actually that should be outflow, no what you call, 已经是how's outflow, you know, without the 已经是无漏慧的. So it has to be that part. So that is we are talking this is 3 kind of wisdom in terms of practicing the way that you have to understand that way. Of course, during the some people, if I'm saying that as if you practice the whole path, maybe sometimes even you're practicing the cultivation, but sometimes you still have a doubt. You could, because you haven't reached the destination yet, and then that time you flow back to the reflection. Get it now? So that's why when you read the Buddhist text, you have to understand that. Otherwise, you get confused, because it took me a long time in the past also. How this thing? Now, that's why I say, even though you practice in the the wisdom through the cultivation, but sometimes the reflection also go with you. Okay, understand? But even sometimes you also maybe even the hearing reflect by learning also helps you, because the teacher told me that I should look at it. Then you go to from there you go to reflection. From reflection, then you go to the cultivation. Okay. But in a very specific definition, the moment you are in the cultivation, it should be outflow. Okay. 所以说它是一定是无漏的。Okay.
Without asaba.
无漏。Without like a drishti, without a wrong view. Just now we mentioned. Yeah. Yeah. Sasrava, yeah. That means without this asrava, yeah. Without, yeah. So, I get it now. But because the Santirana actually it's very close to, it's still, but Santirana of course, and in this kind of stage, you are doing almost like there's a kind of how to say, the thought process going on. Like, why it's happened like this? Why it doesn't happen this way? Why it happened this way? Why don't it happen that way? But it still apply in the three kind of knowledge, but mostly in the second and the third. Okay, that's what I mean by 思所成慧, and so like the knowledge, the wisdom through the reflection and the knowledge through the the cultivation. So it's not complete reflection, like you might have samadhi, okay? You're thinking, what is the cause I'm here? So, but it is still, you're based on the text or based on the teacher telling you, you are practicing, right?
But sometimes it also not only based on what you learned before, right now. Sometimes like a memory come back. How are you gonna explain?
The memory come back, no.
I mean the previous consciousness.
I'm not sure what your question.
I feel like it's very strange idea will come into you, but this is
But
not me, right?
No, you cannot say. If you understand when true, that's what I mean say. If you practice and then you find that this might be, it's not strange idea, it's something you come to understand something.
Right, but how can I know that the consciousness, the view is right or the view is not right? I'm confused.
If you're confused, then you're always confused, right?
But you, at that moment, you think you're clear. When you're out that state, you feel like you start to doubt yourself. You don't know what you experience.
I mean, then that's another, no, that's okay. That's another question, because the question is only, you might have a right view, but because you have a strong wrong view all the time, that's why your wrong view, once you are out of that, your right view is so weak, and then it will just overcome to you. And that's another thing.
Oh, okay.
So that's another question, yeah. So, okay. But anyway, so that's why in the commentary or even in any school, if they study very deeply, they always have to discuss where is where, okay? But there's sometimes the borderline is not also sometimes very clear, sometimes very clear. Why I want to say that, this is why, that's how why you want to study Abhidharma, not to just only to be stick to the view, okay? As I say, that you can see that they are trying to point out something to you, but for a practical reason. But sometimes the borderline is not 100% clear, and you don't have to be also. Even the mind going so fast, how can you be 100% to clear off, all the borderline? You know what I'm saying, right? You know what I'm saying? But at least you know they have this kind of system to understand the same thing. When you say this term come, what did he translate here? Judgment, nature of judgment. He said that also very clear already. Even though you are in a non-defined, what to call this, non-wide, I only remember that this kind of non-wide and non-defined kind of, so it's kind of nature is like that. So that kind of conventional knowledge. But you cannot say they don't have this kind of so-called nature of judgment. The nature of judgment here is not like, don't use the English language think judgment mean I judge, he's a black, he's a white, he's a high, he's a low. No. Here it just has to do with the inference. But this kind of inference, if it talk in a very very deep way, it's not like, oh, yes, I'm old, I'm age, I will be old, and I will be I will be get old, and I will be get how to say, old, 老死. I will get decay and old, right? The reason why I be that because I have been born. If I don't become in, I would not be able that. So people think when they think it is, they are in this kind of nature judgment. It's wrong. It's not. That's why I want to say the nature judgment is very deep. This is just what we call the wording. You're going to learn next thing about the next lecture is about the next topic is about anyway what we call this conjoint formation. It's a kind of language. Of course, it helps you. It's a kind of language only, but maybe you have samadhi, and then you start to think, what it is, how it come like that, based on the five aggregates. You look at it, right, for example. And that is still is a hearing. That's what I'm saying. It still is the listener. The wisdom comes as a listener. But when you say the Santirana here, it has to be very clear. Understand, it is more than what I remember the teacher tell me I should look at this or look at that. But it becomes a part of you naturally.
So it becomes embodied.
Yeah.
Innate.
So. Yeah, maybe, of course, people do meditate, especially do insight meditation, they might have a very short moment experience. I'm talking not a short, it's a long moment. All the time you're just doing that, okay? So, and then you have kind of influence, and then sometimes you come to have a realization, but maybe too short. You cannot let it long. That means you cannot let yourself, put yourself into the wisdom through, what we call, through this cultivation, 就是修所成慧. So that's the reason why the enlightenment cannot be happen, because you always just touch on it, you're not going to stay for long, all right? So, but however, there's a kind of influence already, like, because you understand what, this is called the nature of judgment, okay? All right, get it now? It's a big topic, of course, at the same time, but now you just get a little picture first, okay? All right, from here, what it is, what else? Oh, actually they say it's true, it's a different way. The non-white, non-defined ones are not real. It is not a kind of view. Yeah, okay, that's fine. So this is not a view. So then you cannot say that they are not, yeah. As they are, yeah, therefore they are not. They
nature of judgment.
Yeah,
out of the field.
They're out of the field of judgment. Okay, but however, they are both understanding and knowledge. Okay, all right. Okay, all right. Now the next one, the wholesome one, if coexistent with the five consciousness, are also not real, and are both understanding and knowledge. If, however, they coexist with the mental consciousness, they belong to the category mundane right view, as well as being understand the knowledge. Anyway, so basically here, so it means that the conventional knowledge can never have this kind of how to say, the nature of judgment. But we must, in other words, mean because they cannot be understood as a view, right? But they are both understanding and knowledge. I mean, it can be, it's a knowledge, and it's also a kind of prajna and jnana, understanding. All right. Next, I have to think about that. Let me think about it and say that later. Look at the next one first, the 4.5.40.4, the knowledge of other mind. What does it mean by the knowledge of other mind? It's a knowledge born of the concentration. You must understand, in order to read other people's mind, so it has to be, the knowledge come from the concentration. That's why the samadhi arises from the samadhi, okay? And then it knows the mind and thought. It knows the mind and the Jaitasika, the thought concomitant, 就是心跟心所. So it can know the people's minds, like it's a good mind or it's a bad mind. But the 心所 mean it also can read the other people, what kind of the mind concomitant are there. Okay. Of the other belonging to the sense sphere, or either even they can know that whether they are in the jhana mind, for example. And some of the outflow mental state, even some of it, they know. Like this person actually don't have anger, or they don't have the wrong view already, like that. So, and then which are present and similar in kind. So generally mean which are present mean that person right now, what kind of mind they know. So it refers to that. Okay. And then the number 4.5, 40.41 actually is further to say about what they. This knowledge is also two kinds. Either they are, when the people even they have the power, like so-called Parajita Jnana, mean the knowledge of other minds, mean they can read other people's mind. So they can be outflow free or with the outflow also. Okay. Now I think this is a little bit too complicated, but generally I mean the one with the outflow can know. The one, in other words, mean the one is with the outflow, it refer to at least his stream antennas. Okay, if they are the stream antennas that they can read the other people's mind, in other words, mean more powerful. Okay, because they even can know the people whether they have a higher jhana or not having a higher jhana. Okay, generally, so. They I think maybe easier to say that is maybe just to begin to say generally, I mean to say that in the text also say this usually is mean when the read other people mind, they has to be, he can read other people when he is better than the person. You know what I'm saying? Say that if he have that jhana and up to what jhana, only he can know that the other person read. When he read other people, he know whether he has that. If that's, let's say he has only the power on first jhana, he might be can read the other people only when they know that whether he is in the upajjhara samadhi. So like that. So he only has the upper one can only read the lower one. The lower one can read the upper one. Okay. But he also said that from the 4.2, okay, generally mean the 4.21 you say that this knowledge does not know the matter, the unconditioned, the conditioned and disjoint from the mind. These three things they will not know, okay, of the other person. Or the nature of this actually, it does not work for that because it's not, this is reading other people's mind, it's not reading other people's matter. Okay, you understand what I mean? Not reading other people what kind of matter is it in the what kind of elements they are, like that, you know. And of course, if in and then condition, and condition means if the person is in the nibbana, for example, his mind is in unconditioned, or so in condition in this school, I mean they are the two kind, three kind, right? So and this unconditioned three kind, he would not able to read it also. In other words, mean it's very clear. The people might be, but there's exception. Only the big Arahant, the Buddha would know. Okay, it's always such that there's an exception. But in general, people is that the reading the other people might. Here, I just want to define that there's something they were not able, because precisely what does it mean by the knowledge of reading other people's mind is this kind of knowledge were not able to read this three type of thing. Yeah, okay, something maybe easier to say this way. But also at the same time, they would not also read other people's past, the past concomitant, okay, and the mind, okay. They only read in the past present. So like, let's say, this is why we always very afraid. Let me tell you.
But reading the present, can't you also
No. If the people can see your past life, it's not the knowledge of the reading other people's mind. Okay, we must distinguish the two things. What does it mean by reading other people's mind is only read your present mind. But to see your past life is not this power, this kind of power, it's a different power. Okay. You get it now? Okay. And actually, people are meditating, they know they're using two different things. It's not the same thing. All right. So it's very simple to say maybe, to read other people's mind, just only read the present mind. Okay. Very clear, you know whether you're doing meditation, you're confusing, you are in a drowsy or what, like that. You know, that's like the concomitant to drowsiness, not focused. Or you had a good mind now, you have a bad mind, and those are the present mind, right? So that's why if you suspect people who can read your mind, you'll be very careful. Always try to be nice.
Or not.
If you have time, we can discuss more personally. I think, so just now I said that already. So it's always, you can read the superior to the lower level, not the lower level to superior. Sometimes when the people in a higher than him status, when he read, he couldn't find it. He don't know what it is. That means the lower to the higher. Okay. When the person, I'm talking the present time. So let's say the person is still observing the cessation, or what we call the nibbana. Okay, kind of like a nibbana. So and then if he doesn't reach that, he doesn't know what it is. He just feels strange. Don't know, something he won't understand, like that. Okay. All right. Now we come to this 4.5 by 4.0.5. So it's the knowledge of unsatisfactory, and then now this we just read through it. I'm going to draw this picture later. Okay. So the read through first. The knowledge of unsatisfactory is the outflow free. You have to understand all these are outflow free. They don't have this flow. You know what I mean flow? We just mentioned already. At least the five kind of the views. It's not there. Which realize with regard to the five aggregates, you have to understand this is with regard to the five aggregates of the grasping of the fruit. There are four aspects of being impermanence: anitya, unsatisfactory, empty, and the soulless, or you can say translate as egoless or selfless. Okay, what is the knowledge of origin? So we just read through it. Okay. It's the same thing actually. It's the origin, but with regard to the five aggregates, okay, of grasping as the cause. Okay, and then that same thing, and there are four aspects also, or four modes. Okay, and then there are also four of the path. Four more of the path also with regard to the five aggregates, that which is grasping, and then the number 9. The knowledge of number 8, number 7, number 8, and then the marker, the path. No, sorry, I forgot to mention the 7 first, the cessation, and then the 8th one is the path. Mean the Four Noble Truths, basically. But the Four Noble Truths in the school divided into 4 modes. Okay, I like to read through it because it's easier to say when we have to look at the chart, and it's much easier. So in other words, mean there are 4 kinds of knowledge. These 4 kinds of knowledge, including the Four Noble Truths there. Okay, now let me revise again. The first knowledge is called the Dharma knowledge, right? Remember? Mm-hmm. But it's also outflow. No any wrong view there. Okay. And then the second kind of knowledge is called the subsequent knowledge, right? It's also outflow, right? So it's but it's called subsequent because you have to go after the Dharma knowledge. Remember? Okay. So just say simple term. And then the third knowledge we learn that is the conventional knowledge, but it can be good, it can be defined, it can be non-defined, right? Okay, just understand it that way, Professor. The fourth one is the knowledge we just learned is called the reading other people's mind knowledge, or others' mind knowledge, directly translation. So others' mind knowledge means you read other people's mind knowledge. That's one kind of knowledge, but it can be also that person, or that can be defined or undefined also. But either outflow or not outflow, right? Understand that? Now, then you have these 4 kinds, and then you have include other 4 noble truths kind of knowledge. The dukkha, the cause of the dukkha, right? And then you have 6. And then you have the cessation of the dukkha, 7. And then you have number 8, the path of the knowledge. Okay, get it now? No any question, right? Now, the last two is that to call the non-arising. And then the last one, you can look at the page 104, 4.5.40.10, the non-arising. So why is it called non-arising? So let me maybe, I forgot to mention the number 9 first. 4.5.40.9, okay? The number 9 is the knowledge of exhaustion, mean 尽知 mean you cut it off, okay? So why this is called the knowledge of exhaustion? Actually, maybe strictly speaking, is only for Arahant. So there's no more thing has to be done, okay? And then the number 10 is a knowledge called non-arising. So I mean, nothing will be arise. Not the good thing will arise or bad thing will arise. Good karma will not arise, the bad karma will not arise. So, because if you have good karma, you go to heaven, you know what I'm saying? And you have the bad karma, you are going to hell, right like that. So, but these two are also connected together. It's because they only arises, this exhaustion means the, so.
Why did it distinguish two? I thought if both Arahant, it would be sort of finished, right?
Finish what?
I mean, they both finished their job as they became Arahants, right?
They finish a job, yeah, but they still have 9 and 10.
Cut off, and the other one is.
Yeah, because they always live in the Four Noble Truth. You know, that means, or you could say they always live in the Noble Eightfold Path because the last one, the path is the Noble Eightfold Path. So, and that's why exhaustion, because they call it exhaustion because the exhaustion refer to mean they complete,
like
they done all the thing.
Because Nibbana means like the fire went out almost.
Yeah,
extinguished.
yeah. So, and then the last one is the non-arising. So, because it's fully understand what is going on, okay?
So is that because
it's all right. Maybe just let me pause here. Do you have any question with regard to 10 knowledge first? I mean, I know the detail is a little hard, but we're going to talk about the Four Noble Truths after the break. But I'm saying that first you know there are 10. So why there are 10 knowledge here? Of course, there are much more than knowledge if you count it. Even in breath and out breath is also one knowledge. Okay, when that's also. But we count this 10 because that cover up the whole purpose of the importance of practice. For example, whenever you are practicing, there are so many problems, but sometimes you know you have a good mind, sometimes you have a bad mind, sometimes your mind become this, sometimes your mind become that. That is called conventional knowledge. Okay, get it, understand? But when there's a moment that maybe you develop a certain power, that you start to have cut off of something, or almost all the time you're almost in the conventional knowledge, okay, according to this scheme, okay. But then you might be at a moment that at the end you almost understand the Four Noble Truths already, and you'll be even in Four Noble Truths, because we are going to say this also in the next time, not in this because it's not included here. But generally mean that you understand there are 4 kind of steps, and when you come to the 3rd step, and you'll be able almost enter to you develop a kind of understand the Dharma very well. So that's why you have the Dharma knowledge. Okay. So and then the same as the subsequent one, because that to do with the jhana power. Okay. Then you have the subsequent one like that. So and in order to, when you are not in the conventional now, but you are truly in a Four Noble Truths already, right? So there's a long practice before you arrive, before you reach to the Dharma knowledge. Okay. So this 4 is. That's what this for. Okay. Now, so usually it means when you're in a Dharma knowledge, when you're subsequent language, means you are actually become the what we call this 出果相. You are actually the what do you call no the before instrumenta. I forgot the test term. Okay. No, before. Yeah, the 15 moments and the last moment you become a instrumenta. So in the 16th moment.
Oh, never heard of that.
Yeah, and then you become the instrumenta. So however, then when you become a instrumenta, you still have to practice again and again and again. So, in the end, so you become Arahant, then you will have these two, the last two knowledge. We call the knowledge of the exhaustion and the knowledge of the non-arising. Yeah, but it doesn't mean that when you are stream mental or before stream mental, you don't have the taste. You might have a taste, but the taste is taste. It doesn't mean you have it. Okay, there's a two different things. In Abhidharma, it's very clear about that. You might be taste something, like you know when somebody really can have a nirvana, how it can be, because that moment completely like that. But that's just only one moment, right? 2 moments. It's a different. The same thing, like when you say, "Oh, do you have samadhi?" Yes, you can say everybody has samadhi. I have samadhi, yeah, but then you must be able to really stay long. As long as you want to, at least. Or even though not as long as you want to, it means certain amount of time you should be there, right? And then you start to call what samadhi is stable or not stable, like that, the same thing. Okay. But anyway, this 10 knowledge is a very traditional Sarvastivada. It's not in Theravada. But it doesn't mean that they don't have a same thing there. It's just different language they use. So in this Sarvastivada, they use this 10 knowledge in order to talk about the paths, the practice system, how the important, in other words, you could say the emphasis on the importance of getting this 10 kind of knowledge too. So, all right. So we have a break and you have a question, because you might ask question before I start to talk about Four Noble Truths, these things. Because at least sometimes when you ask, I know that what is you don't understand, so I might be also try to, encompass, all your question into the Four Noble Truths or the 10 knowledge. All right, take 5 minutes break if you can, come back here. We can look at the notes I give it to you, right? The notes today I give it to you, something with the before last week one. But as I say, anyway, something similar, but I need to repeat it again. So it's about 10 knowledge, okay? I also get it, firstly, I find some, because I also recently I was reading some of the Sanskrit by this Mahayana text called Mahayana Samuchaya. Okay, so in Chinese called 大乘阿毗达摩集论. Actually, it's written by Asanga. Because if I want to read Yogacara, if I found out that if I don't read this one, it's very hard to read Yogacara Bhumi sometimes. Yeah, because it's both written by the same person, the Asanga. Okay. But now, it's also why I want to put it here for other reasons, is because also to make you understand, even in Mahayana, this is very important. It's Mahayana, don't forget, Mahayana also talks the same thing. People think they don't, they do talk the same thing. That's also give you indirectly to make you understand.
That's very early Mahayana that you're talking about.
What do you mean by late Mahayana?
I mean early. But now
I'm talking about Asanga.
But now
every Tibetan, every Mahayana school refer Asanga, right?
No, because they never taught us.
I don't know, but let me clarify to it. For sure, everybody talk about Asanga, so Mahayana. Nobody against Asanga, right? Mahayana. Anyway, you ask master answer. So just one answer.
Wrong Zen teachers.
Yeah.
We only about Suzuki. And
so even Suzuki, I'm sure he knows who is Asanga, and he must read it. Yeah, okay, anyway, so Asanga, so this is written by Asanga, so I will just put it here, but I also gave you some of the information last time is not by him. You could find the definition is the same, okay. Anyway, so it also said that, so what is meant by the path, okay, the truth of the path, okay. This one I forgot to put the translation, okay, but I just only put the Sanskrit. So we must understand when you say the path, means you have to know the suffering, the cessation, the arising. Basically means the attaining of the path, okay, by cutting off the suffering. Maybe easier to say that way. So when you say the path, there are 5 kind of paths, right? One is called the Ziliang Dao. We talked about that before. I think maybe you can look at the next one if you don't understand. The path of requisition, right? And then you have the second one, they call the Jiaxing Dao, mean the path of application, right? The next one you can see it. The path of vision, that called Jian Dao, and then path of cultivation means Xiu Dao. And then the path of non-training means the Jujing Dao, okay? Yeah. But actually, in Sarvastivada, they don't say Jujing Dao. They only say it as a kind of Wu Xue Dao. Okay, but here is the Zhu Jing Dao. Okay, now that's we know that's a 5 path. So we also mentioned what is meant by the requisite, what is meant by the application, what is meant by the vision cultivation. Okay, now we are going to mention that a little bit more. Now we look at the other one. We must also understand that the Sarasvativada, besides their 5 path scheme, they are the 4 path scheme, right? Last time we talked about that. So when you say the 4 path scheme in the path of application, so it means the second one we said with the 5 path scheme. The second one you can look at it. The chart. And then the path of non-interruption. This is what we also did learn this word. Sometimes we translate or call unhindered path. 无间道. Okay. So unhindered, 无间, 没有间断的意思. So it's non-interrupted, 没有间断, 无间道. It's not a movie, okay? There's a movie called 无间道. A very famous Hong Kong movie. I still remember lots of Hong Kong people ask me, what does Wu Jian Dao in Buddhism mean? Okay. And then you have the path called the emancipation, 就是解脱道, vimukti. And then the path of excellence, Visesha Marga. So what does it mean by the Senjin Dao? Anyone remember?
Which one? The emancipation?
The path of excellence.
Excellence.
Anyone here?
It's to become an arahant, no?
Yeah, but beside that, some more.
In a skillful way.
In a skillful way. In other words, means
way.
Somebody has to be a trainee at least.
Yeah.
A trainee, 就有学, at least has to be a sotapanna, stream enterers. Okay, so that's why I call the path of excellence. Okay, understand?
Yeah.
All right. Now, when you understand this one, then if you really look back to the notes just now we read, then you will know that there's something they talk about. What does the knowledge of Dharma mean, right? They also can be in all this. And so not on all this. Basically, from the second, the path of application, the path of interruption, the path of emancipation, and path of excellence. Get it now? So, okay, all right. Now, let's look at the path of the, let me see. All right, look at this page 2, okay? In the page 2, the path of the liberation. There's, where is still is the ordinary people, where is a noble person? When a person is still in the path of equipment and the path of application is the ordinary people, okay? And the people only when they start from the path of vision, go on, is not noble people, it's a senja, it's a noble person. It's clear, okay? We don't have question. Now look at another chart. So during the path of equipment, right, the Sambhara Marga, so they have two kind of practice there. One is practice called the aids to marriage, the aids to liberation, right? Hello, Kitty.
What?
Understand that? No question, right? Okay, so the path of application, or the path of application, or the path of equipment, it's still a normal person, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
In the path of equipment, there are two kind of practices are there, because there are two kind of helping you. One helping you mean you help you to develop your punya, 你的功德, right? Your punya, your merits.
Yeah.
And one is helping you to your liberation.
The virtue in general.
But they still under in this system called the path of equipment. Okay. Understand?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. In this kind of tool, the path, the aids to the marriage. I mean, the helping you for marriage. What are these three things? We talked that. That's why I asked you again. What are these three things you have to develop?
Sila, virtue, generosity, and meditation.
Yeah, okay, the virtue, sila, and then generosity, 布施, okay, and then the third one is the cultivation. That, and then also I say the meditation. That here is bhavana, mean the meditation, but this term the meditation here in the Vaipasika school. Okay, what is mean by Vaipasika? Hello. Before 萨施 in Chinese. Okay, but this is just a term. What does it mean Vaibhasika? Before 萨施, what does it mean?
They like the idea would be, they believe the idea.
No, actually, you can literally translate that Vaibhasika or the Chinese called before 萨施 mean the explanator.
Oh,
But it still doesn't mean anything to lots of people. What does it mean? Give more definition. Can you call Theravada as can you say the Theravada, the one who uphold the Theravada teachings as a Vaibhasika? Yes or no? According to Vaibhasika opinion, of course. You can say yes, but according to them, no. Okay? All right? Why? No, because Vaibhasika have their own system and they have the belief in the text called Mahavibhasa, 大毗婆沙论, as their authority. Okay? All right. Okay, that's maybe easier like that. Just like the Pali system. If not all agree, but generally when you say the Theravada, if they believe in the commentary and what they would take that as their main authority, the Visuddhimagga, the path of purification. Okay? Like that. The Pali system will be take this 清净道论 as their authority. Whatever, maybe there's still people argue with, but they still based on the text, that the Visuddhimagga, for example. Generally, that's how I understand. Generally, I don't mean all Theravada agree with that, okay? But like that, Vaibhasika means they have to take the Mahavibhasa as the authority, okay? But the meaning of Vaibhasika means explanator, the people who explain the thing, okay? Okay, now, so according to that Vaibhasika, what is the main important for the meditation? Everybody, what is the most important method of meditation?
Is it the mindfulness of breathing?
You are half right, but I did say very clearly, according to Vaibhasika, what is the most encouraged method? Come on, of course. No, meditation is all about jhana, the force of light abiding.
Oh, right, I forgot about that. Yes, we did it, yes.
Did I say that?
You said it, but we forgot.
I'm sorry.
No, we're still under the category called the age to the marriage. It still is considered as a marriage, okay? It's a samadhi. You can get married in 3 ways. The generosity, the virtue, you have precepts and practice of virtue, and then your meditation, okay? So, and then the meditation, the Vaibhasika school highly encouraged for the force of light abiding. But you are also right, but however, according to Vasubandhu, right? So he didn't say that, but he did explain about that, the force of light abiding also. He didn't ignore it. He kept it as one system. But according to Abhidharmavatara, written by the Vasubandhu, he put the 2 important methods is the anapanasati, the mindfulness of breathing, and asubhavana, meditation on impureness, on the corpse, on the body decaying. Okay, get it now? So at least you know there's 3 methods. Not that they don't have any other method. They are highly recommended, you could say. This kind of 3 methods. Any other questions? No. But still, this are still called the helping for the marriage. Okay? And then if you put in the path, it's still called the path or equipment. 还是一个资粮道. Okay? Get it now? Right. And then you move to the helping you for liberation is what is a method? I will have my tea.
Okay.
Application?
Can you say it? Okay.
Application is satipatthana, no?
Yes.
Application.
Somebody said in Chinese, it looks like the man is better than the female, okay? The female have many more today, at least today. It's all right.
Come on, girls.
No, we embrace you together.
Good, I like the middle way.
So that's why this the helping for the liberation has to be start with the 4 foundation of mindfulness of okay, 就4年处. Now, however, when you practice this Sin and Chu, so, and then of course, the four foundation of, I forgot I was speaking Chinese. When you practice the four foundation of mindfulness, because sometimes I like to speak short language, right? Long. Four foundation of mindfulness.
Too long.
And then up to what kind of, then you have to go to, there's a 4 steps. So that kind of 4 step, it's called, it helps you to penetration. Okay. 懂吗? The penetration. So in Chinese 是顺觉折分 okay? 就顺着这个觉折 So it's a penetration. So at that time, therefore, it's called the heat, the summit, the acceptance, the highest mundane factors, mean the 软顶冷是第一法 Okay, therefore. But please understand, Pali don't have this system. Even though the before was similar, here there's a little difference between this Sarvastivada. Okay. But that's why we want to study this class, because this method has long lost already. But they have a very unique method, to say how someone can be an extreme mentor. Not in the Pali. The Pali have a different system. Up from here, it's a little different.
Which school that we're talking about? This one.
We're all in Sarvastivada. Come on.
It's still Sarvastivada?
We never taught Pali. I'm not teaching Pali text. I'm teaching Sarvastivada.
Comparative study.
No, I sometimes give you an idea.
Comparing Theravada, Pali, and then.
If this is Pali, I will tell you this is Pali.
And Skandila, I thought we were comparing those 3.
No. We don't have time to compare. Even this one is too complicated enough. Okay.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. All right. You must understand those terms also. Okay. And then the path of application, this is still even though it's called the aid to liberation, penetration, but still included as a path of application, okay? But now, my next question, in this path of application, 就是我们加行道. So in this path of application, the 加行道, it is belong to the noble person or not noble person?
No, it's still ordinary.
Ordinary. Actually, I think that's why I say sometimes don't believe in this kind of draft. But it's a complete, sometimes it's right, sometimes it's a little wrong. Because actually, according to this table, the last one, the highest mundane factor, should be in ordinary already, not the ordinary person.
So
even
before Sotapanna?
Huh?
The highest mundane factor?
No, they had to be Sotapanna already. Okay. All right. Now, we have general idea first, because we have long time to talk about what is heat, submit, acceptance, and this. But now, forget about this. There are 4 things there. So before you have to understand this complicated system, maybe one day you can revise the method. It's but if without the Pali practice, is very hard, because I say this is a long gone already method. Anyway, what I want to say is we must also understand. Look at this kind of. The path of the, there are 16 kind of the knowledge. Now, this kind of knowledge is different, all right? This knowledge is not what we are talking previously, but it has similarity there. Look at these 16 type of knowledge. First thing, you have the knowledge in the, okay, maybe easier to put it this. This is so. I don't know today. I thought I can finish, maybe not. So generally we have 15 minutes. Am I right? What time we are supposed to finish? 8 o'clock, right? 8. I get too confused even forget the time. All right. So in other words, mean when someone they have practice meditation, say that for the 4 fountains of mindfulness, and they will come to a point to understand the dukkha. Okay. Okay, but how they come to understand of dukkha, the Pali doesn't need to be that complicated, but this system have a much more complicated way. In order to understand the dukkha, you must go to 4 directions. Okay, the suffering. So the 4 directions, look at this page 5, okay, page 5. Can you see the table? There's got the table called the 16 modes of the 4 noble truths. Okay, so let's say you practice the 4 sublime abiding. The 4 foundations of mindfulness. when you're really, really good at it, I'm saying that this is very good already. Just like previously you need to practice samadhi and all this sort of thing. But when you practice the 四念处, the fourth foundation of mindfulness, and then you have to get to the point. Anyway, this is we're going to talk detail later. At least how to understand the dukkha become the truth. Because let's say, oh, everything is suffer. That is not the truth, okay? That's why I say this is just only maybe to reflection, maybe through your reflection knowing that, oh, I was so nice, how on earth I'm staying here, this dukkha, right? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes if you don't have the hearing, nobody teach you that, it's good to think about that sometimes. Then you would think, I don't want to think this. This is make me bad. Now recently people told me also, they feel very sad because they feel their health is not going good. And I told him, actually, even though this is not the circumstance we want to come to, right? Nobody want to get ill it's not the circumstance you want to. But when that comes to you, that's the goodness of Buddhism. When you're happy, you can practice Buddhism. But when you're not happy, you also can practice Buddhism. So at that time, you're dukkha, you must understand I'm dukkha. And you have to accept it, something like that. Okay? But this acceptance of this dukkha have many, many levels. Okay? Just the only thing about I'm ill is enough, but it depends how strong your samadhi. But if sometimes it's not enough also. But anyway, I'm not here to say too much because it takes too long time. We need to back to this topic. I just want to give you a subject the understanding of, oh, I'm suffering is just the begin. It's not the truth of suffering. Okay? I'm here to say how someone be at this stage come to almost become the Sotapanna. This is a big thing. Okay? You cannot just tell people, oh, you can be a Sotapanna. So it's a big thing. How? You have of course, you must understand what is suffering already, what is arising of suffering, what is this or that. But you are really, really in the cultivation path, practicing. Almost like somebody, no thought, but just go through it. Okay, that time. So it can become to the four way. One is called, I don't need to write because the impermanence, right? You see everything impermanence, then that's how you realize the truth. Okay? Or you can come to the suffering. Dukkha mean, the suffering. Suffering itself is suffering. Okay? So like that. And the third one, or emptiness, because there's no essence. Okay? No essence. But I think I did give this talk once. I think maybe if you're interested, next time you should find the CD and listen a little bit. And then there's another one called the anatma, selflessness. You find that you cannot control anything. So no, you cannot control as a selflessness. It's not as a Tibetan way of understand. You must understand. I don't mean, this is not my topic again. Actually, there's somebody pointed out, the early understanding of selflessness is not looking for whether there's something there or not. Looking for something there or not, it's the emptiness. Okay? There's no essence. But selflessness refers to you cannot control everything. Okay? But that through the understanding of dependent arising, of course. Okay? With the dependent arising, dependent origination. All right. So that's why you have come to the truth of suffering. So okay, what we are doing there. And then the same thing, you also have to go through four in order to understand the truth of arising. I'm not going to read this thing at the moment because we are going to talk this more later. You just know there's something there like this. Therefore, for example, you have to know what's the cause. You have to know what arises, okay, what appear, and what is the condition. It's there, right? And then that's how only from there you see the cease of the suffering. Because then you can see how it disappears, how it become calm down, and how it become like wonderful because the thing is not there, and then how you can see the hope there. Okay, basically like this. You have to be able to check this for all the time. And the same thing is that the path. Then only that you know the path. There's no any other thing right, but this is the right thing, the truth. And then you know what you have gained. Because that's it, only the way. That's the only the way is mean the truth. And that's what you gain, is mean you gain the path. And also you also know that you're out of the problem already. That's what is the path itself. Okay? So like that. So they have we are going to talk this a lot later. But those things, these four things, that actually when you came to the truth of the suffering, that time, I'm giving this example, back to our page 2, okay? Page 2, and is this a page 2? Yes, page 2. In other words, when you can understand the truth of the suffering, with the four things as your object of meditation, okay? In other words, in all the time, with this, with the impermanent, with the suffering, with the this emptiness, with the selfness, you still can understand the truth of that. That time, you develop a kind of knowledge will arise. You know that I would say that, may say in the easier version first. So that knowledge means so-called the acquaintances in the knowledge of the teaching of suffering. In Chinese, it's called 苦法之人. Okay. Okay, in Chinese, right. In other words, mean you have the Dharma knowledge of suffering, and then with the appreciation. The word before last week we talked already. This learn is not mean patient. It doesn't mean that. It means that something like you can endure that. Okay. Understand? You can endure that because this have to begin with the suffering. Don't forget.
Sorry, you're talking about now knowledge of teaching of suffering? Number 2 or number 1?
Number one.
So number 1 is acquiring this knowledge and then you're enduring the suffering? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, you can. I want to explain what does it mean that acquiescence mean. It means you can endure that. Okay. It's okay. So in general, I mean this is not for normal people, as I say. It's very, very advanced meditation. It's almost become a Zen already. So, but this is how you study. Okay. For them, it's important moment. So this knowledge arise, and then the second knowledge, the knowledge of a teaching of suffering, mean the 苦法之. Okay. Without this word, without the learn, okay, without the acquisition in English. So the difference is that why without it? Because this is enduring, and then you have it. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so the knowledge come. So you must be able to check that also. That's why I say they're very, very. Abhidharma is always so meticulous, okay, and at least that. And then you have this called subsequent, okay, subsequent knowledge of the teaching of suffering. The number, no, the third one, acquisition in the subsequent knowledge of the teaching of suffering. Get it now? I don't need to write, okay. Chinese, okay. I just put the Chinese mean 苦类之人. And then the fourth one is 苦类之 without the 人, same thing. All right, let us just take a pause here first. Remember, when we talk about the 10 knowledge, the first two knowledge, there's a knowledge called the Dharma knowledge. Remember?
Yeah.
Here, the first two is the Dharma knowledge. Okay? Okay, understand? And the second two, the second one knowledge of the 10 knowledge is the subsequent knowledge, right? So here, the next one, subsequent knowledge. Okay? Understand that now? Get it now? At least you know there's something like that. So, and then, however, before we are going through this, because this topic, when we finish or when we study, we have to go back again. So, remember the word learn, or the so-called the shanti, or the acquisition here translate. You understand this here just only to signify, when you have time to read all this commentary or this, they will tell what does it mean. Generally, understand it means just to signify that you can almost like store it, take it there. Only when you take it there and go to without this one. And then only after these two, then you go to the subsequent knowledge, okay? But with the subsequent knowledge also you have some kind of space to store it, something like that. I don't mean really like to store it, literally, similar. Give you a similar example. So, and then this kind of the simile, The simile is that when you store it, and then you can go to that without this storing. Okay. So this then, when you practice when you come to the point to understand 16 moments or 16 modes of the what we call the 16 modes of the Four Noble Truths. Say the first one, when you realize the first truth, the truth of suffering. Okay, so then you will be able to realize these 4 moments. Okay. No, you not wouldn't realize. You will understand, and you have arrived this kind of 4 knowledge. And these 4 knowledge, the first 2 knowledge, it has to do with what? The Dhamma. What does it mean? It means it has to be in the sense sphere. The next 2 knowledge will be in the fine material. And only, even though here you will start to cut off the defilement, but only you really complete cut off the defilement is only here. Start from here, these 2. So you cut off the defilement. Okay. So it's something like 1 moment, 2 moment, 3 moment, that about to cut off, 4 moment cut off. So that's why the loss of the defilements, I mean the first of the loss of defilement being cut off already. So that had to refer to where? Back to what we learned in the earlier time, the defilements chapters. So there are 89 types of defilements, right? And then, so how the defilement being cut off? That's how the topic is. Now here, first learn the terminology first. I mean, the same thing. I don't have to repeat now. So if this is stuff from a dukkha, suffering, the next one will be the cause. Look at number 6, right? The origin of suffering, right? So look at number 5. So it's the same thing. In Chinese it will be 就是极法之人，极法之，极类之人，极类之。Okay, get it now? So they will be the same. So that's how the Saravastivada generally mean. They ask you to go through this page. We're back to the page 5 again. You have to go through all these 4 up to the truth of the path. Please don't think this is the no. As I say, don't think this is this is just a big picture. Actually, when you really want to cut off, you have to go 121 moments. I haven't talked this yet. Don't forget about that. Okay. But at the moment, and you will die. You're not coming for the class. But at least you're happy. Oh, there's 5 paths, I know, and the 4-way, right? And then the path, that's what you know at the moment. That's how you build up the knowledge. Don't otherwise, if I start to go, oh no, then there are 2 ways of going. You can go to, I think it's 90 something moment. One is 100 something moment. So anyway, I didn't even put it here yet, and we are not come to this topic yet. Just give you a rough idea first, and then you have to go to the 4 noble truths, and each noble truth had to go 4 modes. Okay, so the 4 modes, the same thing. There are 4 modes. When you're in the that's how you build up this kind of the knowledge. Okay, but when you are the 4 mode actually, then you have to learn how to diminish the mode also. So diminish. Yeah, but we haven't talked that yet. So but that's a say that again. I didn't. Diminish. So I mean you have the 16 modes here, and then you have to learn go through all the 4 modes, and then you learn to go diminish the one of the modes, like this, the release mode. Then you go 1 round and diminish the second mode. You go 1 round, you diminish the way. Up to the last moment, the last 2 moments, you are in the impermanence. But it can be any. But generally speaking, this is just for some general speaking, unless you are the person is the, how to say, you are the person who are really have a great, depends on what kind of person you are. Some person is like this. I'm not going to say that. It's too much. Generally means that you have to remain 1 moment in permanence, and that moment will bring you to enter the first, become the stream enter. Okay. So this is not our topic yet, because we will come to this topic. That time you are going to. You'll become Siddhabhana, right? Guaranteed with Abhidharma. No, actually this is what Abhidharma is. They have a very clear path for you, very, very clear. It's very clear. The only thing is you have to find the right, just to practice, the right way to practice. But the path is very clear. So now, here is like this. We went back to the page 2 and the page 3. Because I want to say this is because accordingly, when you are when you're in the last moment of the knowledge, mean the path, the number 15 and number 16. So you are accordingly, if you are in that kind of knowledge when they arise, so you will develop, you'll become Sotapanna. Anyway, that's what generally it's the topic at the moment.
So
yes.
For meditators, they really know very clearly which step they're going through.
According to Abhidharma, they do that, but some system, since I'm talking about this Sarvastivada, as I say, Theravada don't have this system. Okay. This is very exclusively for Sarvastivada school. Theravada also talk about Four Noble Truths, of course. Without understanding Four Noble Truths, you always stand down. You always, only Four Noble Truths makes you not stand down to Chinese Buddhism, to Buddhism. So, but the only thing, the difference is that even Asanga say the same thing. That you can look at what his text say. It's not my say, you know. You have to look at what the master say. So only the Four Noble Truths will make you not to be, defined or then I don't know what the translate word already. So the thing it is, but in Theravada, they all emphasis on a different way. Like, you have to practice a dependent arising. Look at how the dependent arising makes you, and then anyone will make you sufficient for you. If you look at this Abhidharma, even Sarvastivada Abhidharma, actually he did quote, they belong to what we call the Vibhajavada. This is too much for you. Generally, we believe that Vibhajavada is the original school of the Theravada school. But when you look at it in the history, it's true also because what he quotes from the Vibhajavada is really similar to what the Theravada nowadays say. So, for example, according to the Theravada, according to what Sarvastivada say, they believe that if you can only through one realizing one path. But of course, you must have experience of six Four Noble Truths. There's no question. Everyone know that. But only one of them enough for them. So, but the Sarvastivada school as Vipassana, they remember the word Vipassika, Vipassana. They didn't say they agree or not agree. They just say they mentioned that. In other words, maybe they agree, because however, they want to uphold their school system. They don't want to lose the system. So according to the system, you have to go through this science system. It's very complicated, but I want to say my own opinion. I think if you can work on it, it's really, really clear. But you might not need to work on it too, but at least they have a lot of information, very useful information. I want to say that way. That's my conclusion with my opinion of what it is about the Sarvastivada school. And this is one reason why I want to teach this, because it's, firstly, we must also not only just learn the text, also have can link to a practice in a way. Okay, but as I say, this system is completely lost. There's no master can teach this system. But that's why it's very hard to figure out sometimes. Okay, but this is, we need to go on. The other notes, I think you can go back and read it, okay? And then, so we somehow, I thought I'd have time to talk about page 5, It is the page is 7 reasons. So the 7 reasons knowledge is differentiated into 10. Why you put the 10 knowledge, right? They have the 7 reasons. You can go back and read it. I think the next class we can just go through a little bit, and then we can start the next chapter, because I hope that we can finish the text sooner, and then we can revise something important, and then make sure that you at least have the. Don't tell me when you finish. What do you study? Abhidharma. I don't even know what his name. Okay, right. Who's the teacher? What's the book? Who's the author? I don't know. Maybe Theravada.
We'll have to do it again.
No, but I want to make sure, because even though I don't want, because I had to give you a certificate, I think, but I have to make sure based on your attendance or everything, at least I have to make sure you have a rough idea, Don't say, I don't know anything. You at least can say, yeah, they talk about 5 paths, at the path you have to do this, and they believe that they can attain enlightenment by that way. At least you can say something,
I say my conscious knows, my conscious doesn't.
Okay. Besides, you go back to your homework to read from page 5, the 7 reasons, the 7 reasons why they talk about 10 knowledge. And then we go, if you have time, even though if you have time, we should read something because we want to finish the book, as I say. And so we should start to read. It's an important topic also from page 108. If you look at it, it's 4.6. The 4.6 here, you should at least understand what you can read it up to the 4.6.1.12. Okay, that means page 111. I know it's very hard, but I will give you an idea generally. So, yeah, because we learned that what is, we just had to learn what is meaning from destroy Dharma. Okay. And then when you finish the destroy Dharma, I think the rest of the chapter is the category of consciousness, and then a category of space, and a cessation, and we're done the whole book, right? In other words, when you finish the destroy Dharma, and then some other lesson gone. Destroy Dharma may take a little time, and then we're done the whole book. But then when we're done the whole book, but from what I understand, all of you, you're interested in the whole path, so that we go with the path, and then to put all what we learn, into the whole thing. Okay? Yeah, hold the diagram together. So like that. Okay, right. So thanks for coming. Yeah. Okay, thank you for the online friends. Thanks. See you next week. We have class next week, right? Yeah.
月次上课功德普济于一切，或等于众生皆共成佛道。
Okay, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Oh, it's 10 past, right?
One about the teacher.
All right, thank you. Super done.
Thank you.
Yeah.